The human face is a masterpiece of biological engineering, capable of broadcasting a universe of information in a fraction of a second. But while we are often captivated by the flash of a smile or the furrow of a brow, we tend to overlook one of the most powerful, yet subtle signals we send: the sustained, unwavering gaze. When a person's eyes lock onto you and do not waver, it creates an immediate and intense focus. It feels different from a casual glance. It's heavy, significant, and your intuition is right to flag it as important. A steady, unbreaking gaze is one of the most potent nonverbal cues in the human arsenal, but its meaning is not a simple one. It is a complex signal that can denote anything from deep attraction to calculated dominance, from profound respect to a direct threat. The context is everything, but the psychology behind it is decipherable. Let's break down what it means when his eyes don't waver. The biological underpinning. Why a steady gaze matters. To understand the signal, we must first understand why eye contact is so powerful from a biological and evolutionary standpoint. Our eyes are not just for seeing, they are a direct window to our brain's attentional resources. When we make eye contact, we are essentially forcing our neural pathways to align, however briefly. Studies using fMRI scanners show that sustained eye contact activates the limbic mirror system, the part of the brain responsible for empathy, emotion, and understanding the intentions of others. Furthermore, in the animal kingdom, a direct, unwavering gaze is almost universally a challenge. For prey animals, a sustained look from a predator is the last thing they see. For dominant members of a pack, it is a tool of control and assertion. Humans have inherited this deep-seated neurological wiring. A prolonged stare triggers a slight, often subconscious arousal in our amygdala, the brain's threat detection center. It puts us on alert. This is why we instinctively find it uncomfortable to maintain eye contact for too long in most social situations. It's neurologically taxing and primitively threatening. Therefore, when someone consciously overrides this deeply ingrained social and biological discomfort to hold a steady gaze, they are sending a powerful message. What I am focusing on is more important than my social anxiety or my primal instinct to look away. The act itself is a demonstration of significant cognitive and emotional effort. Signal 1. Intense attraction and deep connection. This is the interpretation most often romanticized. When a man is deeply attracted to someone, his gaze can become fixated. This isn't just a casual glance, it's a full-body communication where the eyes are the primary instrument. In the context of attraction, an unwavering gaze is a sign of captivation. He is not just looking at you, he is drinking you in. He's committing the details of your face to memory, from the curve of your smile to the light in your eyes. Psychologically, this indicates a high level of interest and admiration. His attentional resources are fully allocated to you, signaling that, in this moment, nothing else in the room matters. This kind of gaze is often accompanied by other subtle cues. Pupil dilation. When we are interested or aroused, our pupils dilate to let in more light, a subconscious attempt to see the object of our desire more clearly. It's an involuntary response that is very difficult to fake. A softening of the features. The eyes themselves may appear to soften. The muscles around the eyes, the orbicularis oculi, engage in a genuine Duchenne smile, creating crow's feet. The brow is typically relaxed. The triangle gaze. His eyes may gently move between your two eyes and your mouth, a non-verbal sign of affection and a subconscious preview of intimacy. In this scenario, the unwavering gaze is an invitation. It's a silent question and a statement of admiration. It says, "I am completely present with you. I am fascinated by you." It creates a bubble of intimacy that can feel both vulnerable and exhilarating. Signal 2. Asserting dominance and establishing control. Now, let's flip the coin. The exact same behavior, a steady, unbreaking gaze, can be a tool of power and intimidation. This is where context becomes critical. In a boardroom, during a negotiation, or in a competitive confrontation, an unwavering gaze is rarely about affection. It's about dominance. This is the human equivalent of the wolf staring down a rival. The goal is to assert authority, display confidence, and sometimes to unsettle the other person. By holding eye contact and refusing to be the first to look away, an individual is non-verbally communicating. I am in control. I am not threatened by you. I will not back down. The psychology here is rooted in challenge and status. In a hierarchical setting, the person who can comfortably sustain eye contact is often perceived as more powerful, competent, and credible. They are demonstrating a lack of fear. This type of dominant gaze has its own set of accompanying cues that differentiate it from the gaze of attraction. A fixed and rigid stare. The eyes are less likely to roam and are locked in a fixed position. The blink rate often slows down considerably, giving the gaze a reptilian, unemotional quality. Neutral or stern facial expression. The mouth is likely to be a straight line, and the brow may be slightly furrowed in concentration, not anger. The overall expression is controlled and impassive. Wide, unblinking eyes. Unlike the soft eyes of attraction, this gaze can feel like being pinned. It's an attempt to overwhelm the other person's sensory field and force submission. If you feel intimidated, small, or pressured by a steady gaze, you're likely picking up on this dominant signal. Your own primal amygdala is kicking in, interpreting the stare as a threat. In these situations, the unwavering eye is not an invitation to intimacy, but a tool to establish a power differential. Signal 3. Deep listening and genuine empathy. There is a third, profoundly powerful meaning behind a steady gaze. The signal of complete and undivided attention. This is the gaze of a trusted friend, a mentor, a therapist, or a partner who is truly listening to you in a moment of vulnerability. When someone holds your gaze steadily while you are speaking, especially about something important or emotional, they are non-verbally communicating empathy and understanding. They are saying, "Your words matter. I am here with you, and I am processing everything you are saying." This type of gaze builds trust like almost nothing else. The psychological mechanism here is one of validation. By not breaking eye contact, the listener is preventing any external distractions from breaking the connection. They are creating a safe, contained space for the speaker to express themselves. This gaze is characterized by occasional, slow blinks. Unlike the dominant stare, this gaze includes natural, slow blinks that signal calmness and processing, not a challenge. Slight nods, often accompanied by small affirmative nods to show comprehension and encouragement. An open and receptive posture. The body is turned towards you, the arms are likely uncrossed, and the facial expression is one of engaged concentration. This is the gaze that makes you feel heard and seen. It's a selfless act of focus where the individual is prioritizing your emotional state and your narrative above all else. It is a cornerstone of deep, meaningful relationships. Signal 4. Deception and calculated performance. This may seem counterintuitive. We often think liars look away, and often they do. However, a common tactic among skilled deceivers is to overcompensate by holding eye contact a little too steadily, a little too long. They know that shifty eyes are a stereotype of dishonesty, so they consciously work to avoid it. This gaze of deception feels different from the others. It can feel intense, but in a hollow, performative way. The person is not lost in admiration or asserting dominance. They are meticulously managing an impression. They are consciously monitoring their own behavior to appear truthful. The telltale signs of this are often in the lack of congruence with other facial expressions and body language. The too perfect gaze. It feels rigid and practiced, lacking the natural, fleeting breaks that characterize genuine human connection. Mismatched micro-expressions. The eyes might be steady, but the smile is forced, or there is a slight tension in the jaw. The words and the body language don't quite align. Stiff posture. The entire body may be held rigidly as the individual is putting significant cognitive effort into maintaining the deceptive front. If a story seems unbelievable and is accompanied by an unnaturally steady, unblinking gaze, your subconscious might be picking up on this calculated performance. The gaze isn't a window to their soul in this case, it's a shield hiding it. How to decode the unwavering gaze? Context is king. So, with these 4 conflicting signals, attraction, dominance, empathy, and deception, how can you possibly know what it means? You must become a detective of context. Ask yourself these questions. 1. What is the setting? A steady gaze across a candlelit table has a vastly different probable meaning than one across a conference table. The social and physical environment is your first and biggest clue. 2. What is the relationship? Is this your romantic partner, your boss, a stranger on the street, or a political debater? The nature of your relationship narrows the possibilities immediately. A boss's steady gaze is far more likely to be about authority than attraction. 3. What is the conversation about? Is the topic personal, emotional, professional, or confrontational? The content provides the why behind the gaze. A steady gaze while you're sharing a personal story suggests empathy. The same gaze while arguing a point suggests dominance. 4. What is the rest of the body saying? The eyes are just one part of the narrative. Look for clusters of signals. For attraction, look for dilated pupils, a slight smile, leaning in, open palms, and the triangle gaze. For dominance, look for a squared-up posture, chest puffed out, steepled fingers, a neutral or stern mouth, and a rigid, unblinking stare. For empathy, look for head tilts, nodding, a soft expression, mirrored body language, and a relaxed posture. For deception, look for contradictions, a steady gaze with fidgeting hands, a controlled face with restless feet, or a story that doesn't add up. The power of your own perception. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, trust your intuition. Your brain is processing thousands of non-verbal data points per second. If a steady gaze feels warm and inviting, it probably is. If it feels cold and threatening, it probably is. Your subconscious is often a better decoder than your conscious mind, which can be swayed by what you want to believe. The unwavering gaze is a psychological spotlight. It can illuminate feelings of love, highlight structures of power, provide a sanctuary for vulnerability, or expose a carefully constructed facade. When his eyes don't waver, he is signaling that something significant is happening. Your job is not to jump to a single conclusion, but to understand the rich tapestry of human communication you are witnessing. It is a silent language spoken in the stillness of the eyes, and learning to interpret it is key to understanding the unspoken truths that lie between us.